Welcome back and thank you for participating in this edition of FAA Safety Team National News. We are addressing the importance of being prepared for the unexpected in general aviation. Our experts will now help us analyze an accident that unfortunately involves fatalities and shows us how we can defend against similar problems in flight.
A private pilot and two friends traveled from out of state to take delivery of a Cessna 210 the pilot had purchased. The intent was to fly the aircraft home the following day before dark. Time spent completing the purchase, however, delayed the planned departure. In addition, the pilot had received limited instruction in the aircraft as part of a checkout coupled with a high-performance endorsement. Prior to the accident flight, the aircraft had gone through annual as well as pre-purchase inspections. The aircraft most likely underwent at least one pre-flight inspection as well. In spite of all these inspections, a readily seen item was overlooked that would initiate the accident sequence. With approximately 4 hours of fuel on board, the new owner and his passengers departed for home in the dark. At an altitude of 4,600 feet mean sea level and 6 miles from the departure airport, the pilot reported an electrical failure and requested to return to the airport. During base to final, the aircraft struck the tops of some trees. Continuing on final approach, the aircraft then struck power lines, causing it to pitch down into a dirt embankment. Upon impact, the aircraft flipped over nose to tail to an inverted position. Both passengers were killed. The pilot survived with injuries.
So Steve, an annual inspection, a pre-purchase inspection, and at least one pre-flight inspection occurred before this accident. What was missed on those occasions that set this accident in motion?
Katrina, the aircraft's alternator had a disconnected wire that led to a low battery condition, causing the loss of electrical power. Had the loose wire been found using the hands-on methods taught in the FAA's advanced pre-flight program, this accident may have been avoided.
Well, how would they have found the wire using the advanced pre-flight method?
The location of this aircraft's alternator, like many general aviation aircraft, allow for a visual inspection of the connecting wires during the pre-flight with the use of a flashlight. These techniques are taught in the advanced pre-flight program.
Well, such a simple item, and yet it was the catalyst for a deadly sequence of events. Janine and Rich, where were the breakdowns in decision-making and pilot performance here?
This is a classic case of poor aeronautical decision-making. Although there was plenty of time to sort out the malfunction, the effort to rush back to the airport may have clouded the pilot's thinking process. Making good decisions includes understanding when time actually is a critical factor, as would be in the case of an onboard fire or loss of cabin pressure at high altitude, and when it is better to take a few seconds to wind your watch. When time is available, it is critical to understand the 3P model of decision-making: perceive, process, and perform. First, you must perceive. Ask yourself, what is the situation? How is it affecting me, my aircraft, and the flight? And then, how will it affect me, my aircraft, and the flight in the future? Second, you should process that information to help determine whether immediate action is necessary or whether you can obtain more information. For example, you may be able to contact outside sources like air traffic control, a maintenance facility, or another pilot. Third, you must perform what needs to be done or choose to do nothing at this point in time. Once you have performed the 3 Ps, you must then monitor the situation by going back to searching for information in your environment. In other words, perceive, process, and perform, and so it goes. In this instance, the pilot perceived a time constraint that was not necessary. This led to a distraction as he attempted to maneuver the aircraft back to the runway.
I agree with Janine's assessment. During an unexpected or unusual event, it's important to continue to fly the airplane no matter what. That means either immediately regaining control of the aircraft, or in this case, not taking actions that could cause you to lose control. But we can only bring the appropriate flying skills to bear provided we maintain control over ourselves first. Our rational brains must override our emotions and natural instincts, which are often counterproductive to surviving an in-flight emergency. Avoid only assessing what's wrong, but also take inventory of what is right and what resources are available to you. In this case, the aircraft was still flying. It had plenty of fuel. The airport was made. and the approach had a working visual approach slope indicator. Rushing to get the aircraft back on the ground was perhaps a natural overreaction, but a few deep breaths, coupled with taking some time to think and develop a plan before rushing to land, may have calmed an otherwise tense situation and perhaps revealed other options.
Well, you have all made some excellent points. I think we can apply some of this advice the next time that we fly. We must always take the time to complete a thorough pre-flight inspection. We must visually inspect all you can see and attempt to move all you can touch. The pre-flight inspection is the last opportunity we have to determine the safe operating condition of our aircraft before we leave the ground. Regarding aeronautical decision-making, we must take the time to determine if time is available or if immediate action is necessary. We need to use the 3 P's of decision-making. And last but not least, always think first, then act to prevent an otherwise controllable situation from snowballing out of control. After this quick break, we'll look at some operational tactics the panelists use to prevent loss of control situations that you can use too the next time you fly.